The Boston Celtics have signed free agent Torrey Craig. This wasn't really a surprising move to me, as Boston needed to fill a spot on their roster because they did trade away Jaden Springer. And honestly, with all the amount of money that we had to spend, which wasn't a lot, about under $3 million, Torrey Craig seemed like the right option. And I'm going to tell you why here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for all of your support during the NBA trade deadline. We went live for the deadline. We went live for the Celtics versus Mavericks game. And now we're making a video about Torrey Craig being signed to the Celtics. We do this day in, day out. This is a 12-hour day for us, and I promise you, you're not going to find somebody who works harder than we will. Celtics make a move, we make a video. Hit that subscribe button for me right now. Let's break down the official Shams bomb here. Free agent forward Torrey Craig has agreed to a deal with the Boston Celtics. Craig averaged 6.9 points and 2.8 rebounds in 9 games for the Bulls this season. We'll talk a little bit more about why he was playing 9 games and really what that means for the Celtics and what kind of role he's going to have here. But overall, the guy like Torrey Craig, you're just getting a veteran. We have a relatively young team. Yes, we've got Horford. Yes, we've got Drew Holiday. But Torrey Craig has playoff experience, and that is something that Brad Stevens is going to monitor moving into the postseason. Plus, with a guy like Torrey Craig, who was waived from the Bulls because we know that Zach LaVine got traded to the Sacramento Kings, so you had to free up some space there. That's why Torrey Craig hit the free agent market so quickly. So, with that being said, it's a little bit tough here to see what kind of role that Torrey Craig is now going to have for the Boston Celtics moving forward, because really you're just looking for depth. You're looking for bench pieces. And having a guy like Torrey Craig is going to be able to provide a sharpshooter when needed, and he's going to join the Stay Ready group. So with the Stay Ready group, it's pretty much the Peyton Pritchards, the Sam Hausers of the world, that when they're called on, when their number gets called on and they need to check into the ball game, they're ready to go. Jared Wise also talking a little bit here about the deal, saying league sources say that Craig will wear number 12 for Boston and is scheduled to join the team for a physical in New York ahead of their game against the Knicks on Saturday. The Knicks are currently about 2.5 games behind the Boston Celtics, so a little debut with Torrey Craig wouldn't be bad, but I also don't know if he's going to get a lot of minutes, if any minutes at all, going up against the Knicks, because that's a must-win game. And this Celtics roster has been playing together for so long, and with Torrey Craig, he hasn't played this year. I mean, not really. Less than 10 games, 7 points a game, 3 boards. Yes, he's shooting 43% from the three-point line, which is fantastic, but he's been dealing with an injury. So Boston doesn't just want to throw Torrey Craig into this whole new lineup of people and expect him to help us beat the New York Knicks on Saturday. But it is good to know that Craig will continue to develop. He'll work on his rehab. Hopefully he can be some injury insurance heading into the postseason. And overall, when I look at this move, the more I think about it, the more I like it. You're getting a pretty good guy off the bench. You're getting a reliable guy, a veteran in your locker room. And with the playoff experience, I think that's where it's going to go the farthest for the Celtics right now in February. So let me ask you guys this question here. One-word reaction to Torrey Craig's signing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Mine is going to be impressed. I'm impressed that Brad Stevens pretty much got the best player off the buyout market, in my opinion. And he did a good job. Let me tell you real quick about our sponsor on today's show, and that is PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I play PrizePicks every game day, and I want you guys to join in with me. All you have to do is download the app and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right, up to 1,000 times your money. And right now, with the big game right around the corner, you guys can win big with Patrick Mahomes. They're giving away a free square. All you need to do is click more on Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. Yeah, that's obviously going to work. So you can use that free pick, tag it on with a couple other players, maybe a Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Or if football's not really your thing, you can make it right now for regular season games, professional or collegiate for basketball. Download the PrizePicks app, use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app, Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Wing depth. That is where you are going to have some help with Torrey Craig. The only other move that I would have expected Brad Stevens to make is injury insurance for the center position. But maybe that means they're really, really locked in on Luke Cornett and Neemias Queta. Even after the trade deadline was over, Brad Stevens addressed the media right before the Celtics had to play on Thursday evening, and Brad Stevens said this: "If we bring somebody in, that means that we believe they'll add to this group. That doesn't mean they'll play, but when called upon, they can be ready to go in big moments." So he said this not knowing that Torrey Craig, not the media knowing, that Torrey Craig was going to be signed. But Brad Stevens says that, look, we're adding to the stay ready group. We're adding to our bench, our rotation, that if we need them, they're going to know what to do and how to help us win. And like I said, 34 years old, you're getting Drew Holiday-esque type of age, so you're getting a leader and a guy with postseason experience. But something else to note here on Torrey Craig, because you're probably wondering, Allie, why has he only played 9 games so far? Well, he hasn't played since December 30th. He's been dealing with an injury. The Celtics are his 7th team in the NBA. So this man has more experience than I would probably even like him to have. But he's played in 75 playoff games since 2018. If he gets called upon in the postseason, that's where it matters. Kind of like how Xavier Tillman did the exact same thing for Boston last year. Locked up Luka Doncic for a series, and the rest is history, you know? And now we needed to add wing depth. We do need to add depth to the center position, but this does help out Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, and Jordan Walsh, who really, they used them a little bit off the bench in the first half of the season, but now not so much, not unless it's garbage time. But Hauser's also been a little bit inconsistent. Torrey Craig, you're getting a defensive asset. You're getting a reliable three-point shooter. I think he fits in really well here with the Boston Celtics wings. Craig also does add a little bit of a veteran flair to the Boston Celtics, which I think can go a long ways in terms of the locker room. Let's say the Celtics go down in the series, which didn't happen last year. It very well may happen this year in the postseason. I think that's where that veteran aspect of Torrey Craig is really going to come in to help. Like Brad Stevens said, we're not signing these guys so that they can play every single minute of every day, of every game. We're signing them so that they know how to play when their number gets called upon. So now I'll ask you guys this question here. Should the Celtics add another player? Because they do still have one more roster spot open, which is number 15. Well, that number has been open the whole year. And what Stevens did last year was he added Neemias Queta to the roster, from a two-way contract to a standard contract in April so that he could play in the postseason. I think that's what they'll do here, but should the Celtics add another player? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section down below. Just in case they do add anybody else here on the the buyout trade market, I think that there are a few players they can still try and go and get. A Daniel Theis, a Lonnie Walker, Oshae Brissett, maybe a PJ Tucker. Those are still some guys in the buyout market right now if Boston really wanted to close out their lineup at this moment. But I think ultimately they're probably going to go with a two-way player in a J.D. Davison or a Drew Peterson, and they'll probably sign him a little bit later towards the end of the regular season. But we're going to have a video tomorrow on a little bit more about the buyout candidates. If you guys haven't already, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me by Celtics Today, by Chat Sports. This way you guys can get all information on the Boston Celtics all the time for free. So if you guys haven't already, hit that sub button, and I'll see you next time.